That Metal Show is shot on cameras.
Welcome to That Metal Show, your single destination for all things hard rock and heavy metal. I'm Eddie Trunk, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Don Jameson and Jim Florentine.
We've got a great show tonight. We're going to toss some Rush fans in the ring with the Kiss Army and see who comes out on top. Oh, and did I mention Dee and JJ of Twisted Sister are in the house?
Yeah, so rev her up. It's time to get this thing moving. It's That Metal Show.
It's that time of year when the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or as I call it, the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame, are announced. Now, usually heavy metal gets the redheaded stepchild treatment from the voting members of the Hall, and although this year it doesn't seem much different, Metallica has made the shortlist. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, second only, maybe just the Grammys a little bit under, as two of the most clueless organizations when it comes to hard rock music and metal music and giving it the respect it deserves.
Well,
it's
yeah,
a joke.
They're going to say Metallica will get in the first time, but there would have been no Metallica without Black Sabbath, without Judas Priest, without Motorhead. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But they didn't like, the critics never liked Metallica until they cut their hair. You know what I mean? That's when they first started digging them, load and reload. When they cut their hair, they started to look like the critics, and the critics go, now we can like them.
The three of us would all agree that Metallica is certainly worthy of being in there.
Yeah.
But how do you put them in there before bands that like Priest and Maiden? Alice Cooper invented a genre of music. Kiss is pop culture. These bands aren't even in the conversation. They've been eligible for over a decade.
You know what's going to happen?
Marilyn Manson
will get in. Alice Cooper won't.
Jeff Beck on the list again. Jeff Beck, a great guitar player. He deserves to be in. He's in already with the Yardbirds. You're putting him in again before you put Alice Cooper in?
Yeah, what's next? What's next? Miley Cyrus is going to get in?
Trust me, I could keep going. Thin Lizzy should be in. It goes on and on. Anyway, if you were a rebellious teenager back in the 80s, you definitely remember the great metal anthems, We're Not Gonna Take It and I Wanna Rock. These guys have been playing together since the 70s, and they are still rocking after all these years. Please welcome from Twisted Sister, Dee Snider and JJ French.
I love that diatribe, man. It was great.
You know, I took a page out of your book because you speak out about stuff. You've never had a problem telling people how you feel about stuff, have you?
Yes, much to my, yeah.
Just to pick up on that theme, though, how ridiculous is it that Alice Cooper, a huge influence on you, a big, you know...
It's so offensive what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's, you know, it's all those stiff records people and all the Rolling Stone people. They think that they're the last word on what's cool and what's hip. And you know what? It should be left up to the people. If we were dealing with the majority, if it's a majority vote, you know, I think Alice and Sabbath and all these great bands would already be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I went out there. I was there 2 years ago, and there was nobody there. There was nobody in the museum, and I wasn't surprised. I said to the curator, well, there's a reason why nobody's here, because it sucks. I mean, I was like, I'll tell you something that was really insulting. They had the history of Atlantic Records when I went to see them. It stopped in 1979. It's their history of Atlantic. What happened? Everything after 1979 sucked. You know, us, all the bands that ushered in, AC/DC at that point wasn't even mentioned yet. Do they want to wipe the slate like it never happened? It is really insulting.
Well, that proved how ignorant they were about, you know, about metal music and metalheads in general. You know, everyone looks down on metal music like it's a lower form of music, and that metalheads aren't intelligent. And Dee, when you went in on those PMRC hearings, man, you blew everybody out of the water because they just expected this long-haired freak to come in.
They expected Vince Neil, and I showed up.
It was great. Dee was the only one that showed up at Congressional Hearing wearing blue jeans that time.
Snakeskin boots and mascara.
Yeah,
I put mascara on before I went in. What was I thinking?
But JJ, you talk about those early days of Twisted Sister, and I think for a lot of people, you know, your band came on the radar, of course, when Dee came on board, and then, of course, all the great stuff he did in the clubs. what a lot of people don't know, which I think is interesting, is that there was a Twisted Sister before Dee. You actually had this band really early on in the 70s, didn't you?
Well, the band started as a New York Dolls clone band. I mean, we're not apologetic about it. And it lasted for a very short period of time. And then it went from there to a Rod Stewart kind of clone. We had this lead singer that did Rod Stewart really well, and that lasted about 2 months. Then I sang lead for a while. Now, my voice truly sucks. I mean, God created people like Dylan so I could do cover material, okay? And eventually I fired myself because my voice, I was doing Ian Hunter and all the stuff that could barely be put on key. And my agent said, you know, you got to do Zeppelin. And there's only one guy on the scene who's available who can really do great Zeppelin.
That's how I got the band.
And that was this guy.
But you, at this point, you were aware of what Dee brought as a frontman and a singer, but you know, Dee writes the songs in Twisted Sister. Were you even aware of his songwriting ability at that point?
Because we just wanted to get paid better, and to get paid better, you played Zeppelin.
What Zeppelin song did you guys used to do?
Good Times, Bad Times.
Communication Breakdown, Days of Confused,
like
How Many More Times.
Basically the first album.
You know what I find really funny about this is you're talking about how playing the Zeppelin stuff made more money and stuff, and then as Dee quickly found out, the person who writes the songs actually makes the most money.
Well, you know, honest to God, I mean this genuinely. I started writing. I didn't know that at the time. It turned out to be very fortuitous.
Right.
But actually, it's just that I really felt a need to express myself musically. I didn't feel that the band was in the direction that I thought it should be. And they were coming from the glam Stones kind of area. I was coming from the glam and I was into AC/DC and Sabbath and the metal thing, which became what is hair metal. It's the combination of the glam rock and the metal. So, I mean, we're the original hair farmers. I mean, they didn't exist before us. We were just a weirdo heavy metal band when we started out.
And you guys used to do like 3-4 sets a night, like an hour and a half sets.
It was really, we are not an 80s band. We're like a 70s bar band that made it in the 80s. I really think that's what separates us from the West Coast crew of bands that, you know, have so much hairspray that there's no ozone layer above Los Angeles. It is a stylistically different approach. We were a hard-nosed bar band that happened to be transvestite imaged,
right?
You know, coming out of. I mean,
because we were looking for fights. That's it. And what better way to get them?
And you know, we got laid more than anybody else.
Dee,
the women are really happy
Dee yelled
about
at you
that.
once, didn't he?
Yeah.
At a concert?
Yeah, I was 16 because I used to sneak in my brother's fake ID. and Dee and JJ used to get on the mic all the time and just rap for like 10 minutes in between the songs, which was great. It was so funny, and that's actually influenced me to be a stand-up comic.
You know, really?
Because you guys are so funny. But I remember sitting in the front one time, and Dee's like, "You didn't put your fist in the air. That guy right there, why didn't you do it?" And I had 2 beers in my hand, and I couldn't answer you. That's why I didn't put my fist in the air. And I'm like, I got picked on by Dee Snider. I'm so happy.
Okay, up next we'll be giving you our pick of the week, and this one will make a great gift for that special little metalhead in your life this holiday season.
Also coming up, I'll be put to the test by our studio audience, and I've got to do better this week because I'll be damned if I let Stump the Trunk turn into the Kiss box set giveaway.
So stick around. We'll be right back with more of That Metal Show.
Welcome back to That Metal Show, the home of hard rock and heavy metal. We're continuing hanging out, talking to Dee Snider and JJ French of Twisted Sister, of course. And I guess we talked about some of the early parts of the band's history, but I think one of the more interesting things is that here we are talking to you guys about what's going on now, 2008, 2009. Has it amazed you that this continues to this day and the response you get from around the world from Twisted Sister?
Yeah, we go over, especially overseas. It's just incredible because we barely played over there at all back in the day. When we left, we were like 4th or 5th on these festival bills. Now we go over, we're gone for 15 years, we're headlining. So our next plan is to go away for another 15 years and come back and do stadiums. We'll be like the biggest band on earth, you know.
You know, I think there's the bigger overall theme here about all this, though, is that, you know, since you guys reunited, it's been a kind of give and take between what the other 4 guys have wanted to be a little more active with Twisted, and this guy out there on the island, and you keep trying to pull him in. JJ and I went to see Heaven and Hell at Radio City. I sat next to him, and I'll never forget this moment because JJ elbows me in the middle of Ronnie James Dio singing a, you know, wonderful set with Black Sabbath, and he goes to me, look at how good Dio's doing up there. Dee says he still can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Dio's like 75 years old. You know what I mean? Like, no, you have to understand, I love this guy. We have toured with him for years. He's one of the great, he's like 70, he's out there killing himself. Dee is probably, in terms of flamboyant frontman, the best in the world. As far as I'm concerned, the best in the world. And he sits there and he complains he can't pull it off and he's better than anybody. And I sit there and I have to convince him how it gets me crazy.
But yeah, that's what we want, because you're kind of all in now. You're more in than you've ever been in talking
He's about to quit
recently.
again. Let's not push it.
Is that the exclusive on this show?
I figured this was a place to announce it. First of all, every night I say, here tonight are all 5 original members of Twisted Sister, thanks to various operations, trusses, and medications. So, you know, I mean, I had a throat operation, I've had knee operations. You don't want to disappoint the fans. You don't want to ever be less than you were. But at some point, it's got to give, you know? Somebody wrote a review, said when you see a reunion show and it's bad, it makes you feel old. When it's good, it makes you feel young. And it's so true. I don't want to be at that show where the fans are feeling their age because they're looking at me in my little scooter going around the stage going, woo! You know, I want to run.
And you bring up a great point.
Yeah, but we saw him at Rocklahoma. You guys closed
no.
Rocklahoma
Well,
a year and
that's
a
the
half
thing.
ago, and you guys kicked ass. I
They
mean, blew everybody off the stage.
Still perform great, still sing great. And here's the thing that you mentioned, which is so true. How many bands still have the original 4 or 5 guys like you do? You go see a lot of these bands, it's the bass player. Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
disgraceful.
Yeah.
We believe the only excuse for not being at the reunion is you're dead.
Right.
That's the excuse for not being there. Otherwise, it's not. You can't call it the original band.
Yeah, and we're
Now
gonna,
let's give them one side. They got a couple of things coming up. The plug. You're re-releasing "Stay Hungry."
Well, there's 3 things.
Three
We'll
things.
Push it. Number 1, we have a DVD out, live DVD, live at the Astoria. On December 5th, we're going to be taking our Christmas show, A Twisted Christmas, which we've played for the last 2 years. It's going to be on Broadway at the Nokia Theater, which is really a thrill for us. Yeah, it's going to be TS on Times Square, which is really cool. That's December 5th. And next year is the 25th anniversary of Stay Hungry, and we plan to support that worldwide, headlining the biggest festivals in the world, playing for the first time in chronological order, start to finish, the album with a stage set just the way it was back when the MTV special was in 1980.
You know
Will
about
you
all this,
definitely
right?
be there?
Yeah,
I
was
knew
gonna
about
say,
that, but I also we're retiring the makeup and costumes.
Yes.
That's what the last
As of
shows
next
we
year.
do is you're going to be the Stay Hungry 25th anniversary tour. Then
That'll be done.
Just
Then
tired
we're
of
going
putting it on?
diapers after that. So.
actually, I'm not really tired of putting it on. It's kind of fun, but at some point, you know.
Well, you know, the British press says he looks like Sarah Jessica Parker dipped in a vat of acid. You know what I mean? I think
put on fire and set on fire,
and
put out with a pitchfork.
That's the best line. That's the best line in the world.
all right. Ed, it's time for you to face a studio audience full of metal quizmasters. Now, you've been roughed up the last couple of weeks, but to be fair, the questions have been pretty tough. Now, the bad news is it's not going to get any easier. That's, of course, good news for anyone wanting to walk home with a prize today. But let's see if we can keep all their grubby hands from digging into your box of junk. Get ready, Edward, because we all know what time it is.
All right, it's Stump the Trump time. Who's our first contestant?
Dave DeCasa.
Dave, what's your question for Eddie?
In what city did James Hetfield of Metallica get burned on stage by a pyrotechnic?
ooh. Was it Salt Lake?
No.
No.
Give him some,
Montreal. They were opening for Guns N' Roses.
and who filled in for him, though, when he on rhythm guitar, when he could
Well,
only
get your
just
box
sing?
of junk out.
No, you get
Don't
your
cover
prize
up,
still.
Don't cover up your wrong answer.
No, I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean,
I didn't know.
He's
wrong.
running for president this year.
But for a second prize, Dave, question to you.
I don't know. I know it was the guitar tech. I don't know his name, though. I know the guitar tech
But
for
then
James
after
Hetfield.
that, wasn't it the guy from Metal Church that did it?
No, she's saying no. You're wrong.
Yeah, that's, you take 2
Now
prizes.
take 2
Prizes.
things.
Ask him another one. He'll take the whole box. All right, he's got the Metallica DVD.
Florentine's hoping you get his CD.
Metal Church.
Metal
There you
Church.
go.
There's your answer.
It was originally the guitar tech, and then I think it was the second
Ed.
guitar player. I'm asking. I'm trying to learn.
This isn't flattering you at
We're
all.
trying to learn. When you get things wrong, you learn from things being wrong.
All right, who's our next contestant? What's your name?
Mark Piotrowski.
Mark, you look a little like Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Remember that show?
And he has awesome
That's-
taste in
yeah.
T-shirts, too. I
Great
love that,
T-shirt.
Yes.
That'd be the holiday-themed one,
That's
right?
not a bootleg, right?
No, it's official.
It's official. Otherwise, JJ would be all over him.
JJ's looking at it close. He's like, yeah, no, that's all right. All right, what's your question, Freddie?
Name the two bass players in Wasp before Blackie Lawless.
Ooh, Johnny Rod. Johnny Rod was in
Johnny
Wasp?
Rod was a wrestler.
Oh, before.
Before. All right, well, you can still go.
Oh,
Original.
before. I don't know.
Rick Fox and Don Costa.
Don Costa
easy.
from Ozzy's band used to use the cheese grater on his knuckles. I remember that dude.
All right,
got
Mark,
a
grab
prize.
something out of there. All right. Judas Priest, British Steel, classic album.
Cool.
Who's our next contestant? Come on up. Hi, what's your name?
Beth Ann Gallo.
Hi, Beth Ann. What's your question for Eddie?
Who played drums on the Motley Crue Live DVD, Lewd, Crude, and Tattooed?
The live one. Oh, wait, because I know the two other drummers. I'm trying to remember which one was on the live record. Randy Castillo?
I'll give you a hint.
Samantha Maloney?
What's your final answer?
Samantha Maloney.
Yeah, you're right.
You got it. Well, thanks. Not bad. Wait, how did this one get in here? It says, this is Ruben Studdard. I want my leather jacket back, Eddie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who put
Good,
that one
right?
in there.
He's a comedian. Don't let this act fool you.
What's your name?
Janet Bolhart. Hi, guys.
Hi.
What was the last Scorpion studio album that featured Uli John Roth as a member?
Oh, Taken by Force.
Very good.
Let's give it up for Eddie.
All right, the holiday season is upon us, and if you're looking to spend that Amazon gift card that your lazy significant other gave you for Christmas, we'd like to suggest as our pick of the week something very, very cool. You got it over there, Don?
I got it.
This is from Rhino Records. It's absolutely awesome. It features a Twisted Sister song. JJ, you got the accounting down on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
25,000 units at 4.3 cents per track. So that's
It's actually really cool. It's just simply called Heavy Metal, and it's got 4 CDs, a great booklet in here, and as you can see, it's packaged in an amp head that goes to 11, and came out about a year ago. But what's so cool about this, we talk about all sorts of hard rock and metal on this show, and this really goes in chronological order, starting with stuff in the 60s, Iron Butterfly, things like that, going right up till like the early 90s. And it covers the whole gamut from thrash bands to pop metal bands to whatever the case may be. So definitely check that out. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, it's a throwdown, and we do mean a throwdown. It's the Rush fans versus the Kiss Army. And we're also going to be answering your emails to find out whatever happened to some of the rock legends who've fallen off the radar. So don't go anywhere. There's plenty more to come. It's That Metal Show.
And in the land, Kiss. Kissology, the ultimate Kiss live DVD collections. Over 23 hours of live Kiss on stage. Nearly 20 concerts spanning the band's entire career. Over 200 live performances. Also includes the infamous film Kiss in Attack of the Phantoms and MTV's complete unplugged performance. This Kissmas, give Kissology Volumes 1, 2, and 3. Perfect gifts for music lovers of all ages.
Rejoice. That Metal Show is here.
Did you guys miss me?
Ingve is all you got to say.
The only destination for all things hard rock and heavy metal.
Over 250 F-bombs in 90 minutes.
Eddie Trunk is like the Barbara Walters of metal.
That Metal Show. An all-new episode tonight at 11.
Sweet cherry pie.
Only on VH1 Classic. Love your idols. We do.
It's getting dumber by the minute. Welcome back to That Metal Show, your source for not only all things hard rock and heavy metal, but may I say a great source for tracking down some of your favorite artists that kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit over the years. Now, we've been reading through your emails, and we've got a good one this week. Jim, what do you got?
Okay, this week's email is from Lewis from Sunland, California. Lewis writes, what's up with Cinderella? I heard they might be touring, and if so, what lineup is out on the road?
Well, they were supposed to do a lot of touring this past summer. They were supposed to go out on a tour with Lynch Mob and Warrant, and then the whole thing kind of imploded because Tom Kiefer's just had unbelievable problems with his voice lately, and he had some sort of aneurysm on his vocal cords and had to shut it down for like another year. So
how do you keep it together, Dave?
You gone through some stuff?
Yeah, I had a polyp on my throat. It was on my website. You could see it if you want to.
The polyp?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, there was these rumors that I had cancer. So then, no, it's not cancer. I have a throat polyp. Here, check it out, and I just posted it. But yeah, I've just been lucky, really. I mean, and Tom sings in a fashion that's really abusive. That whoa, whoa, whoa thing that he does, you know, I guess it really beats you up. I mean, you know, Brian Johnson's I don't know what Brian's going to do this big tour that, you know, with AC/DC.
I've asked him about that. I said, do you feel like you've painted yourself in a corner a little bit the way you sang? He goes, oh, yes, me son.
Yeah,
oh, yes, me son. Yeah.
Now, every rock band out there says that they have the most loyal fans. Obviously, you guys have the SMFs, who are great fans. But when it comes to the most loyal fans in hard rock and metal, two bands really come to mind, Kiss and Rush. Now, this week, we're pitting the big bad Kiss Army versus whatever Rush fans call themselves. Canadians, Russians, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Russians.
It's time for the throwdown. I have 2 minutes on the clock, please, and we want to include you guys in it. Most loyal fans, JJ.
I would say Rush fans.
Rush fans, D.
Kiss.
I'm going to go with D, Kiss.
Kiss, Jim.
Rush.
The correct answer is Kiss. The Kiss, they got an army. That's very powerful. I think the Kiss Army is in Iraq right now.
Here's why I'll say Kiss, okay? Because I've had run-ins with fans of both. I'm a fan of both bands, but I've had my things with their fans. But Kiss fans, talk about taking it. They take anything.
Oh my God.
Lineup changes, guys dressed as different guys.
Disco songs. Disco songs.
Rush is the same three guys.
Please.
There's no Rush condoms. There's no Rush coffin. There's no Rush toothbrush. There's no Rush toilet.
And you know
paper.
why that is the case? Because Rush has class. That's why that's the case, okay? And I will tell you this, all right?
Yeah.
You know, Kiss played in Europe this year, and the British press really missed the headline. The tour should have been called the Kiss Army, overhyped, overpaid, over here. All right, as far as I'm concerned, the problem with Kiss is that Gene has embarrassed the hell out of that trademark. And I don't care, you can give me any rationale you want. Well, you know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's the dollar. I can't tell you how many Kiss fans or former Kiss fans that I've known because they think that Gene has single-handedly destroyed the brand of that name. And that's why, personally, when it comes to just loyalty, because we're into understanding our fans and trying to be respectful of them, I don't think he respects his fans. So you know what? Numerically, you may win, possibly, but I don't think in the heart,
But that's the
heart
point.
of hearts, it can work because Rush fans truly appreciate
That's
that
the point.
band.
They're still there, though. That's the point.
Not all of them are.
I know,
No,
but
you're
there's
wrong.
enough still there.
No,
That's
you're
my
wrong.
point.
It's Rush. You know, Kiss Army, come on. There's a Clay Aiken Army, too, all right? Please. Rush.
And boy, their ass is hurting.
I just think...
Oh, that's all behind him now. And what music would you put on to get your wife in the mood? You know what I mean?
Neither, trust me.
Are you going to put on Love Gun or Subdivisions? Come on.
Song that's 30
What do you guys
seconds.
think? Kiss fans or Rush fans?
Well, that's it for that metal show. Thanks, Dee and JJ, for keeping us company today.
Thanks, guys. Not to mention the company of all the psychopaths in our studio audience.
Absolutely, and we thank you and everyone watching at home. If you want to see this show again or some extras, log on to VH1Classic.com. I'm Eddie Trunk for Don Jamieson, Jim Florentine. We will see you next week right here on That Metal Show.